The Komiatum Offensive, launched between September 1943 and January 1944, was a critical phase in the New Guinea campaign during World War II's Pacific War. This operation aimed to dislodge Japanese forces from their entrenched positions in the Markham Valley and gain control of key terrain that would pave the way for the Allied advance toward the Huon Peninsula. The battle was a significant chapter in the Allied efforts to liberate New Guinea, which had been a key battleground in the Pacific, and it demonstrated the challenges of jungle warfare and the importance of coordinated offensive actions. Background: strategic importance of the Markham Valley. The Markham Valley, a vital region in Papua New Guinea, was of significant strategic value. The valley offered a direct route to the Huon Peninsula and eventually the Japanese-held port of La. For the Allies, controlling the area would prevent the Japanese from maintaining a strong defensive presence and provide an essential position for the next phase of operations in the Pacific island hopping strategy. By mid-1943, the Japanese had established a strong defensive line in the region, fortified in several key locations, including Komiatum, which overlooked vital routes leading to the peninsula. The Allies had already begun to push north from Port Moresby in a bid to expand their control over the area. However, the Japanese forces, commanded by General Tomitaro Hirai, had significant manpower and supplies in the region and were not easily driven out. The offensive, September 1943 to January 1944. Initial planning and Allied strategy. The Komiatum offensive was planned as part of the larger drive to isolate Japanese forces in New Guinea and open the way for further Allied landings in the Huon Peninsula. The main Allied force, consisting of Australian soldiers from the 7th Division and U.S. Army units, was tasked with breaking through the Japanese defenses. Their goals were to secure key positions along the Markham Valley, to dislodge entrenched Japanese forces from their heavily fortified positions, to establish control over Komiatum and other surrounding areas, preventing Japanese reinforcements. The offensive began in September 1943 with aerial bombardment and artillery fire, which softened up Japanese positions. Allied forces then launched a series of ground attacks to advance through the valley's challenging terrain. Challenges of jungle warfare. The offensive was plagued by the difficult terrain and the tropical jungle conditions that made movement slow and dangerous. The Japanese, entrenched in well-constructed bunkers, provided stubborn resistance. The dense jungle also made it difficult to maintain supply lines, as muddy tracks and impassable roads slowed the movement of reinforcements and supplies. Despite these challenges, the Allies made slow but steady progress, pushing Japanese forces back and engaging in close-quarters combat. The Japanese forces, although they had fewer resources, relied on guerrilla tactics and their defensive positions to hold their ground. The fall of Komiatum. The decisive phase of the offensive came in late December 1943 and early January 1944 when the Allies launched a final push to secure Komiatum. With close air support, artillery bombardments, and continued infantry pressure, the Allies finally overran the Japanese defenses in the region. By January 1944, Komiatum fell to the Allies, marking the end of the offensive. Aftermath and significance. The Komiatum offensive was a strategic success for the Allies, albeit at a high cost. Allied casualties: over 1,000 killed or wounded during the operation. Japanese casualties, estimated at over 1,500, with many forces captured or dispersed after the fall of Komiatum. Control of Komiatum and the surrounding area allowed the Allies to secure the Markham Valley, providing them with a crucial foothold for the next phase of the New Guinea campaign. The capture of Komiatum opened the way for the Allied drive toward La and the Huon Peninsula, key objectives in isolating Japanese forces in New Guinea. The offensive also demonstrated the persistence of the Allied forces in overcoming significant logistical and environmental challenges, underscoring the importance of air and artillery support in jungle warfare. The victory at Komiatum was part of the broader Allied success in the Pacific, contributing to the ultimate goal of defeating Japanese forces in the Southwest Pacific.